Hello and welcome to this presentation about referencing. The intended audience for this presentation is VCE Computing students doing Units 1 and 2. This is mentioned on the study design. It's not a huge part of what we do, but here is what it is. So your learning intention is that students can explain what referencing is and the two ways that we reference works. So what is referencing? Well, one of the exemptions we have in terms of copyright, I'm thinking of the Copyright Act of 1968, but also just generally academically, is you are expected to show your understanding of the work that came before you. So when you're writing an essay, let's say I've been thinking a little bit about ethics today because I made a presentation about it. If you're writing an ethics essay, then you're not just rambling on or just free-form writing your own opinion about ethics. You're going through and saying, this is a particular approach which is represented by O'Mara 2005 and also Johnson 2012. O'Mara suggests that, the utilitarian approach to ethics. And so you're actually naming these people and you're putting the year of the publication so that if they want to check that you actually know what you're talking about, they can go back and find the publication and say, oh, in fact, that is what O'Mara said. So you refer to people by their last names. They're not, your friends. It's not Fred. And there are two specific ways that you reference people. This applies to wherever you get the information from. Books, podcasts, movies, websites. I'll talk a little bit about how you'd reference stuff on Google because that's slightly complicated. So it is a system, which you can see the typo there, it is a system to acknowledge intellectual property. In the text, you cite it by talking about the author's last name and the year of publication and the page number if you're quoting it directly. So if you're just talking about O'Mara 2002 and you're just talking about his ideas in general, then you can say O'Mara 2002. But if you're saying O'Mara 2002 calls this system a travesty of moral guidance and you're using that direct quote, then you would have O'Mara, 2002, P stands for page, and page 197. If it was multiple pages, it would be PP 197-201. So, for example, in a parenthetical, you just, this is the theory of this, bracket Smith 2022, or if we're talking like I was, O'Mara, brackets 2022, argues that, and that's how either of those are acceptable. You have a reference list at the end, and this is all the things that you've referred to. This is slightly different to a bibliography, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So, Smith, J. So, if you've had multiple Smiths that you're referring to in your reference list, then back in your in-text citations, you'll need to say which Smith you're talking about, although that's only if they've got different years. If you've got Smith J in 2022 and Smith P in 2000, then you can just refer to Smith and the year. All you really need to do is have traceability back so that you can check and say, oh, that really is what that person said. A journal article, we don't use these much at high school level, but they're very common at tertiary level. Smith and Jones, 2021, Advanced Programming Techniques, Journal of Computing, and 45 and 2 is the, oh goodness, I've lost the word, basically what edition it is. And then you've got the page numbers there. And if it's a website, who published it, what the name of the page is, what year, and the address. So, I've said common products. So there's this thing called Zotero, which is a free thing to manage your references, a free product, not thing, to manage your references. I've never used this. The only one I've used here is EndNote, and I haven't used that in 30 years. Mendeley is apparently quite good. That's got a free version and a paid version, and EndNote is the commercial one, and it's very fully featured, and perhaps when you're at university that will be worth your while. How is it different from a bibliography? Well, a reference list is just the text that you actually reference. It's a way of somebody looking, just going, okay, Jones 2015, he says that, they say that, let's find the actual book and do this. A lot of AI generated stuff will have fake stuff in the bibliography. Real giveaway. It's hallucinating sources. So this is a way to get caught if you're writing your essays, because the bibliography might not be real. You certainly see lots of examples of it not being real. And a bibliography is the text that you're referencing and also texts that you've read for background information. Apparently that style is not common these days, but I don't claim to be an expert about that. So hopefully you've got a bit more of an idea about referencing, according to OMARA 2026.